China's rapidly shifting global strategy has begun transforming the balance of power across several industries at a pace that many nations did not anticipate. And this transformation becomes more evident as its economic, technological, and geopolitical maneuvers gradually merge into a unified long-term framework designed to reduce vulnerabilities and multiply influence. Over the past decade, China's leadership has quietly restructured its internal systems to shield the country from foreign pressure, while simultaneously pushing outward through trade, advanced manufacturing, and strategic alliances that subtly realign global dependencies. One of the most significant features of this shift is China's ambition to dominate sectors that shape the future: artificial intelligence, microchips, rare earth processing, robotics, quantum research, electric transportation, and resilient supply chain architectures, because leadership in these fields gives China the leverage to influence decisions far beyond its borders without relying on traditional military or political tools. The steady increase in state-backed technological investment, combined with aggressive industrial policies, has allowed Chinese companies to accelerate innovation cycles, reduce production costs, and create ecosystems where foreign firms gradually lose bargaining power. Simultaneously, China's financial strategies, such as accumulating critical commodities, building alternative payment systems, diversifying trade routes, and promoting WAN-based settlements, are slowly constructing an economic buffer that minimizes the impact of sanctions, currency disputes, or external disruptions. As these internal protections strengthen, China has also expanded its presence across regions that were once dominated by Western or regional powers, using infrastructure loans, manufacturing partnerships, digital frameworks, and resource agreements to foster long-term dependency while gaining diplomatic influence in subtle but powerful ways. Countries facing economic uncertainty or infrastructure shortages often find China's offers more accessible, and this creates networks where China becomes a central pillar of growth, technology transfer, and logistical coordination. Alongside economic positioning, China's technological rise has transformed its image from a manufacturing hub to an innovation engine capable of setting standards for emerging industries, pushing other nations either to adopt Chinese systems or risk being excluded from markets driven by new protocols and supply chains. This evolving landscape, supported by state planning, global outreach, and a relentless push towards self-reliance, reveals a broader strategic objective. China aims to shape the world order in ways that protect its ambitions, reduce foreign leverage over its internal affairs, and enhance its ability to influence global decisions without direct confrontation. As this long-term structure develops, each technological breakthrough, each financial adjustment, and each geopolitical partnership becomes a brick in a larger foundation designed to secure a future where China holds a commanding position in systems that govern trade, data, communication networks, industrial production, and regional alliances. The cumulative effect is a multidimensional rise where China strengthens itself internally while extending its reach externally, ensuring that its growth path remains stable regardless of the global environment, and signaling a world where China's expanding influence becomes an unavoidable force shaping markets, industries, diplomacy, and the strategic calculations of every major power. China's pursuit of technological independence has accelerated to a level where entire sectors are being reorganized to eliminate external pressure points, and this internal restructuring is reshaping global competition as China channels massive resources into laboratories, research centers, and industrial clusters designed to replace foreign systems with domestic alternatives. Semiconductor production, once China's most vulnerable weakness, has become a central focus of national strategy, prompting rapid expansion in chip manufacturing equipment, advanced lithography research, localized supply chains, and strategic partnerships that bypass traditional technology gatekeepers. This effort is not limited to silicon. It stretches into quantum processors, advanced sensors, AI computational hardware, and photonic technologies that could redefine the next era of computing. As these capabilities accelerate, China also strengthens the industries that support them: rare earth extraction, precision engineering, high purity materials, advanced chemistry, and energy infrastructure, so that every layer of production is secured against foreign disruption. China's push for innovation extends beyond physical technologies into data ecosystems, where the integration of AI algorithms into urban management, industrial automation, logistics, healthcare, and communication systems creates new efficiencies that reinforce national competitiveness while attracting foreign interest in Chinese digital solutions. These advancements operate within a strategic framework that encourages self-reliance, yet is simultaneously designed to embed Chinese technology across global systems by offering cost-effective platforms, interoperability advantages, and rapid deployment models that appeal to emerging markets with limited resources. As China strengthens its technological base, it also revises its supply chain structure to reduce exposure to global bottlenecks by investing heavily in domestic production of critical goods, diversifying import routes, and building logistical networks across Asia, Africa, Europe, and Latin America that ensure uninterrupted trade flow even under political or economic stress. Through these measures, China gains greater control over the movement of materials, components, and finished products, enabling its industries to operate more predictably while foreign competitors face increasing instability. At the same time, Chinese companies expand into electric vehicle manufacturing, battery innovation, high-speed rail, telecommunications, aerospace components, and renewable energy systems, creating interconnected platforms where progress in one field reinforces growth in others. This strategic interlinking transforms China's internal advancements into outward-reaching influence as nations adopting Chinese-built infrastructure, digital systems, or industrial ecosystems gradually align with China's standards and technological practices. China's long-term planning strengthens this influence by positioning key industries around global demand cycles, allowing Chinese firms to scale rapidly whenever market shifts occur. As these developments accumulate, China's internal resilience grows alongside its external leverage, forming a dual-strength model where technological capability and global spread reinforce each other, shaping an environment in which foreign dependence on Chinese technologies, components, and platforms becomes an unavoidable part of the global economic structure, while China positions itself to guide the evolution of sectors that determine future growth, competition, and national power. China's financial positioning continues to evolve as it restructures its global exposure, redirecting capital flows, investment strategies, and reserve management practices toward a system that reduces dependence on external institutions while increasing internal stability. And this shift is visible in the way China modifies its approach to foreign securities, international lending, currency agreements, and cross-border financial infrastructure. The gradual adjustment of China's holdings in foreign assets reflects a deliberate attempt to shield the country from geopolitical shocks, potential sanctions, and systemic risks originating from Western financial networks, and this is supported by the expansion of alternative settlement mechanisms, currency swap frameworks, and digital payment architectures that allow China to conduct trade without relying on conventional global intermediaries. At the same time, China strengthens the yuan's role in international markets by increasing its use in energy transactions, raw material purchases, infrastructure financing, and regional trade agreements, which gradually encourages partner nations to incorporate the yuan into their reserves and payment systems, reducing their exposure to currency volatility and dollar-centric constraints. These financial adjustments operate alongside China's development of sovereign digital currency platforms, which create faster, cheaper, and more controlled settlement channels that appeal to countries seeking a more flexible alternative to traditional systems. And these digital pathways blend seamlessly with China's broader strategy of technology-driven economic expansion. As China rebalances its financial structure, domestic investment becomes more strategically directed toward industries that reinforce national strength. Manufacturing upgrades, renewable energy systems, advanced transportation, AI-enhanced logistics, semiconductor ecosystems, and large-scale infrastructure that connects inland regions with coastal hubs to ensure synchronized nationwide growth. This reorientation creates a financial environment where capital circulates in ways that support long-term objectives, minimize vulnerability, and enhance the efficiency of sectors essential to national resilience. The strategy extends outward through the expansion of development banks, lending programs, and multilateral platforms that provide financing for emerging economies seeking more accessible credit options. And these initiatives deepen China's economic links with regions that participate in infrastructure corridors, trade networks, or resource partnerships shaped around Chinese standards. As more nations engage with Chinese financial instruments, they increasingly find themselves integrated into systems that operate adjacent to, but not dependent on, the traditional global architecture, giving China the ability to influence economic flows, long-term projects, and regional decision-making through financial channels built around its own institutions. China's domestic reforms also accelerate its ability to weather global economic fluctuations by strengthening household consumption, expanding high-tech industries, improving rural productivity, and increasing the sophistication of state-guided capital allocation models that focus on reducing inefficiencies and closing structural gaps. These combined efforts position China to manage external pressures more effectively by relying on a diversified portfolio of economic tools that stabilize growth while reducing exposure to foreign disruptions. And this creates a financial landscape where China's internal stability evolves in parallel with its growing ability to shape international financial norms. As these transformations deepen, China's financial independence becomes increasingly intertwined with global economic interactions, forming a structure where China's choices significantly influence global trade patterns, investment flows, and monetary strategies across multiple continents. China's expanding global footprint becomes increasingly evident as it strengthens strategic partnerships, deepens trade networks, and accelerates infrastructure development across multiple continents, creating an interconnected web of economic, technological, and logistical linkages designed to secure long-term influence and stability while reducing reliance on traditional Western-dominated systems. These international engagements take shape through large-scale corridors, port investments, energy routes, digital infrastructure agreements, and industrial zones that embed Chinese standards and technical frameworks into the economic foundations of partner countries, gradually shaping the direction of regional development in ways that align with China's strategic ambitions. As these projects advance, China exports not only physical infrastructure, but also technological systems, communication networks, surveillance frameworks, data management platforms, power distribution technologies, and industrial automation solutions, each of which binds participating nations to Chinese suppliers, maintenance chains, and software ecosystems. This technological integration creates long-term dependencies that reinforce China's role as a central provider of affordable and rapidly deployable systems, while simultaneously giving China broader insight into global technological patterns, resource flows, and market needs. Alongside these projects, China expands its diplomatic presence by increasing participation in regional organizations, hosting international forums, negotiating resource agreements, and offering mediation in disputes where economic interests intersect with political tensions. And through these engagements, China positions itself as a stabilizing force that seeks cooperation while leveraging its economic strength to influence outcomes. China's growing ties are not confined to government relationships. Chinese companies extend their presence through investments in mining, shipping, telecommunications, renewable energy production, smart city design, vehicle manufacturing, and agricultural modernization, integrating foreign markets into Chinese supply chains while providing partner nations with tools that accelerate their development. These corporate expansions are supported by financing mechanisms that offer flexible loan structures, long-term repayment arrangements, and infrastructure for resources agreements that appeal to countries with limited access to global lending institutions. And this financial flexibility enhances China's standing as a preferred development partner. As Chinese-built rail lines, highways, pipelines, power grids, and digital networks begin connecting regions previously isolated from major trade routes, entire economies become more dependent on the stability and continuity of Chinese-led projects. This interdependence grows as China trains local workforces, shares technical expertise, and establishes educational exchange programs that build familiarity with Chinese systems and ensure long-term cooperation across multiple sectors. These international engagements further expand China's market access, enabling Chinese companies to test new products, scale manufacturing, and distribute technology across emerging economies that value affordability, reliability, and rapid construction timelines. The global spread of Chinese innovation reinforces China's domestic industries by increasing production volume, diversifying revenue sources, and generating demand for components, software, machinery, and specialized materials that originate within China's industrial ecosystem. And this cycle strengthens China's internal growth while expanding its external reach. As nations integrate Chinese-built infrastructure and technology into their economies, they increasingly align their policies, standards, and long-term planning with systems that work seamlessly with Chinese platforms, gradually creating a geopolitical environment where China's preferences and developmental model gain greater acceptance. Through these expanding connections, China's influence evolves into a multi-layered network supported by trade, technology, infrastructure, diplomacy, and industry, forming a structure that enhances China's strategic position on the world stage while reshaping global economic alignment around new centers of power. China's long-term strategy becomes increasingly visible as its internal reforms, technological advancements, financial restructuring, and global expansion converge into a unified system designed to secure sustained national resilience while reshaping the international environment in ways that reflect China's economic and strategic priorities. The coordinated development of domestic industries, ranging from advanced manufacturing and artificial intelligence to renewable energy, aerospace components, and high-end materials, creates a foundation that supports China's ability to operate independently, even during periods of intensified geopolitical pressure or global market instability. These domestic advancements are reinforced by large-scale investments in infrastructure, energy security, agricultural modernization, logistics optimization, and high-speed transportation systems, each contributing to a national framework where resources, goods, and information circulate more efficiently across regions, strengthening internal cohesion and reducing friction that could hinder long-term growth. As China expands its technological capabilities, it also builds institutional mechanisms that align research, innovation, and industrialization with national objectives, ensuring that breakthroughs in sectors like semiconductors, quantum computing, biotechnology, and advanced telecommunications transition smoothly into practical applications that reinforce economic strength and global competitiveness. This continuous integration of innovation into industry amplifies China's leverage on the world stage, especially as nations increasingly adopt Chinese technologies, communication networks, and digital platforms that offer cost-efficient alternatives to Western systems. Alongside technological and industrial expansion, China recalibrates its financial systems by strengthening domestic capital markets, diversifying foreign investment channels, accelerating the use of the yuan in cross-border transactions, and creating digital currency frameworks that reduce vulnerability to external financial pressures. These reforms enable China to manage global economic fluctuations more effectively, ensuring steady access to resources, investment opportunities, and trade relationships that support national development goals. At the same time, China's global partnerships expand through infrastructure projects, energy agreements, digital collaboration, and trade corridors that connect Asian, African, European, Middle Eastern, and Latin American economies into an interconnected network shaped around Chinese engineering, financing, and technological standards. As these relationships deepen, China gains greater influence over supply chain routes, resource flows, and regional decision-making, while partner nations benefit from improved infrastructure, increased trade capacity, and access to affordable technologies that accelerate their development. This mutual exchange strengthens China's global presence while embedding its role within the economic foundations of multiple regions. Domestically, China continues to enhance social systems, workforce skills, and urban development models that support sustainable long-term growth, ensuring that internal stability keeps pace with external expansion. These combined efforts result in a dynamic environment where China's internal resilience and external influence reinforce each other, creating a dual-strength structure that positions China as a central force in shaping global economic patterns, technological standards, and strategic alignments. As this system matures, the balance of global power shifts toward a landscape where China's choices, innovations, and partnerships carry increasing weight across industries, markets, and regions, defining a new era in which China's role becomes integral to the functioning and evolution of the international order.